Hello, and welcome to my video on Reflections on Performance Assessments. My name is Kim Owens, and this video is for my class in EDRM 723. My theme for this task was Performance Assessment as an Alternative Assessment. Teachers today give a lot of formative assessments, chapter tests, unit tests, after they've studied a larger unit together as a class. And those assessments are very good for getting data, but a lot of teachers don't perform smaller assessments to help them throughout the unit. And these types of assessments are often called performance assessments. And so the theme that I wanted to look at was how performance assessments can be an alternative assessment in the classroom. First of all, performance assessments give shorter day-to-day goals. So, for example, if you were doing a unit on multiplication, you could give a performance assessment throughout the unit to assess students of the different multiplication tables that they were going through. So you could see, are they progressing well through the 2s and the 3s and the 4s timetables, or do they need to go back and do some more work with that? It also helps assess the needs of your individual students. So your performance assessments given throughout the unit can actually help the students along the way and probably give you a lot of good feedback, which in turn can be used to help students as they're doing the unit. The performance assessment that I used in my classroom was an observational checklist, and it's right here on the video. This was with my gifted and talented small reading group. Now what I did was I wanted to check on things like, are they following in the text when other people are reading, or are they, not focused in on what they're supposed to be looking at? Are they wanting to take turns reading aloud, or are they hesitant with that? Are they reading fluently? Are they understanding what they're reading? So working on comprehension. And also, when they didn't understand something, a lot of times children won't ask questions. So I wanted to make sure that they are asking questions if they don't understand stuff. And also, were they making a connection with the text? The results of that observational checklist were that I was able to see where each student's needs were. I had 3 students that I assessed at that time. One student was a very good reader. She read fluently, she wanted to read, and so that part of it she did really well. But the comprehension she wasn't quite as good at. So that helped me to see that she was better at print and needed help more in the comprehension. Also, while I was doing the assessment, I was able to see that I made a better connection with my students. Instead of just sitting there following along with them and asking them questions, it was like I was more conscious of what they were doing. So the observational checklist actually made me more aware of what was going on at the time. And then I was able to set up learning goals from the performance assessment. And I was able to pull, for example, that one particular student to the side, and we were able to discuss what she needed to do while she was reading. For this performance task, I read an article called Guiding Classroom Instruction Through Performance Assessment. This was by Susan Oberg, and she states that today's pluralistic, inclusive classrooms demand a sharp lens of understanding and awareness from our teachers to reach and teach all students. I really liked what she had to say here because she just hit the nail on the head. What she's saying here is that we have to understand our students. We have to put them under the microscope. We have to know each and every student in order to reach them and teach them. And I really liked what she said there. And performance assessments are a good way to do that. These performance assessments also are very useful to help make learning goals for students. Using performance tasks also allow students to showcase their skills in other ways. For example, a student may not be able to do well on a pencil and paper test, but they may be able to create a poster or create some other project where they do some research and do a better job at that rather than taking a study guide home and studying and then trying to take the test. So performance tests allow students to show that they understand in a different way. When looking at Bloom's revised taxonomy, performance assessments fall mostly in the evaluating and analyzing areas, and this is because when you are doing a performance assessment, you are pretty much doing the task yourself. You are not sitting there regurgitating information, but you're actually doing tasks. Meeting our students' needs through performance assessments. First of all, using the data from the performance assessments will help us meet our students' needs. It gives immediate feedback to the teacher, and the teacher can see what needs to be done with that student. Using the data to create learning goals is a good way to use performance assessment, and also using the data to create new assessments is a good way to use performance assessments to meet our students' needs. We want to change the culture of assessment. Many teachers, when you say the word assessment, moan and groan because they think about end-of-year testing or benchmark testing. But we want to change their attitude because assessment can be a good thing. So we want to change their attitudes. We also want to change the attitude of students because as students get older, they get tired of testing all the time. So we want to show them a different way of assessment and how assessment can be good. Information can be a good thing. And also that not every assessment has to be a grade in the grade book. And a final thing is we want to see the value in performance assessment. So what's next? We want to continue to research performance assessments, continue to develop performance assessments, and continue to use them in our classrooms. And that's something that I want to work on myself. And also we want to share with other teachers. We don't want to keep this to ourselves, and also find out what other teachers are doing in their classroom that are performance-like assessments. I really appreciate you listening and watching this video, and I hope it was very helpful information.